Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm really on the fence on whether or not I want to do this today because right now it is Sunday when I'm recording this, and I got Indoor League on Tuesday, which I'm just starting to shoot. Been a lot of fun. I've got the black gold. This is the Dual Trac Pro, and what happened is I ran out of windage adjustment, and I thought, how is that even possible? But I thought, is the bow setup wrong? Am I missing something? I talked to some guys at another local pro shop, and they're like, we don't know, man. That's crazy. Long story short, I called Black Gold, talked to a real nice guy over there, and he's like, oh yeah. What the problem is actually the thickness of the riser itself. On this Darton Sequel, these are a little bit wide right here. That, of course, is pushing the sight over this way, not allowing me to get enough adjustment this way. It's not just Darton either. In fact, I believe the guy I talked to you mentioned a Matthews. So now most bows out there with the thinner risers, this isn't going to be an issue. But if it is an issue, that is the issue. It's the thickness of the riser. I'm like, great, spent a bunch of money on a sight. I love Black Gold sights. They're really nice. But I'm like, what am I going to do now? And he's like, we sell a longer one. They don't list these on the website, and the reason for that is they have different dovetail cuts in here that will fit different sights. So they don't want to list them. People probably order the wrong one. It would just be a mess. Totally understand that. Makes perfect sense. So they said, we would rather you just call us and we can determine what windage bar you actually need. Perfect. And they're not much money. This was like, I don't know, 25 bucks. I've been out shooting this thing. I got probably every bit of 1,000 arrows down this thing so far. There's your windage knob right here. What I had to do, I just put it back on just to shoot this video, but I had to take this knob off, crack the dovetail loose, and slide it over even further than what it will normally adjust to. That got me on paper, on the bullseye, just stacking them in there. Very happy with this bow. Just hands down, very, very happy with it. But it wasn't right, so anyways, I put this back together. If I took the knob off, like I said, it would give me enough to scoot over, and I still had plenty of purchase on here, but you know, it's not what I wanted, right? So anyways, I talked to Black Gold, and they sent me over the bar, plus under this knob right here, there's a spring and a detent ball. When you take this knob off, it's gonna go flying. You know, you try to cup your hand and catch it, and you drop it anyways, and when you do, well, then you can do what I do.
Where in the hell did that thing go?
You can go hunting for it. So, I never actually did find it. It's here somewhere. My floor is actually pretty open. I don't know where it went. I'll find it someday when I'm not looking for it. So anyways, I've never actually changed one of these. They can't be that hard. So let's just dive in and figure it out. All right, so here's your windage knob. There's a little set screw right here, and right under this thing is the detent ball and spring. So, like I said, I already lost one. I'm gonna try really, really hard not to lose this one. So I'm just gonna back out this little set screw right here. Try to keep my hands out of the way the best I can for you. Right over here is a Phillips screw. And what you gotta do is just start backing this off, because this knob actually screws onto this windage screw that runs through that windage bar. Coming on out. There we go. Okay, don't lose it this time. There is the little tiny ball. We're just going to set that over here with the knob, and then there's a spring right there. Now right under here, you've got your set screw to clamp down. Now what I want to do is I want to just take this, I'm just going to take this screw completely out. Now there's a bushing in here. Let's see if I can get you a close-up on that. Okay, so right here, there's this little nylon bushing. And what you can do is just take a screwdriver, pop it out and drop it. Let me go hunting for that. So what you've got is right here, you've got a little nylon bushing right there. And then on the other side is the one that just popped out. That just sets down right in there. And you've got to remove one of these to get it out of the dovetail. And this is that little piece right here that the threaded screw runs through. So don't lose that. So all this does is just slide right up through the dovetail here. There we go. So to get, like I said, to get that out, you've got to just pop this out of there. We took this off the frame. In order to change this bar with the new bar that is a longer bar, I have to also take apart the elevation adjustment. Allen screw, take your little set screw and, well, that's tight. There we go. And then take my screwdriver, and I'm just going to start backing this off. So there's the ball, and there's the spring. Same deal. There's a little bushing right here. I'm just going to come in and pop that little bushing up. Carefully, there we go. And that little bushing will just come right up out of there. So there's that bushing. There's an orientation to this too. So when you take it out, the concave, the inside of this got a concave to it, taper. That's facing the bottom of the sight. So just be aware of that. Now I can run this screw up, and then I do need to crack this loose too. There's the set screw for the dovetails right there. So just crack that loose. This whole thing should just slide right off of there. And there's your little brass piece, threaded brass piece that the screw runs through. And that sits up in a channel here, a little cutout. So I'm going to pop that out of there. It sits right up in this little cutout right here. We're going to put the other one on here. It goes in tight. It's snug. It's a very snug fit. And I also wanted to make sure that it's lined up in the dovetail correctly, so that when you slide this together, this goes down the center of the groove and the dovetail fits like it should. And it does. Now what I can do is take my screw here and get that started. All right, that's in there nice and free now. Roughly where I had it for elevation. Now I can take my little bushing and seat that back down in the little half moon cutout here. There she goes, snaps right in just like that. So in with your spring, back your screw out so it's basically flush. Put the check ball on there. Capture that. So I'm holding this down against the spring pressure. And then I'm just going to start screwing this screw back in. Got it. Okay. Yeah, working great. Making sure that my elevation bar is moving just fine, and it is. It's moving great. Get my set screw set. Got the new longer windage bar installed. Now what I need to do, so this comes with 2 new bushings, a longer screw. The original one that came out is a little bit shorter by, I don't know, 1/4 inch maybe. And I've got my spring, my detent ball, and my knob. And we're going to assemble this basically the same way that we just did for our elevation. There's that little brass block right there. So I've got that in position where I want it. Now on here, I also put in my little bushing right here. So that's already installed. Now, no bushing on this other side. So I'm going to just slide this through like so into the dovetail. Make sure that everything lines up, slides through, and it does. And then take my screw through the bushing into the brass piece. So I've got my other little bushing here, and I want to push that down into that little half moon cutout too. They're a little tight. What you can do is just give it a light little tap, There we go. Now it's in there. Same trick as before. In with the spring. I'm going to push this up above so the screw's not in my way. Balance that on there. And then I'm just going to take my knob, set it down, depress that ball and spring, and then start screwing the screw up into the knob. Okay, so I've got the set screw tightened back down. Now, before I lock this down hard, just make sure that everything is working good, your ups and downs. Yeah, that's all working just fine. And then I will just come in and tighten up my dovetails. Make sure everything else works. Looking good. Since I had the sight off, I'm going to hang a string level on here. And I want to just make sure that my bubble level in my sight is within specs, just to make sure it didn't get out, and it's out ever so slightly. It's actually probably acceptable, but tiny bit. All right, let me move that. Okay, so I got that longer bar on there, re-leveled everything just to make sure it was off just a skosh. It wasn't bad at all. Actually probably acceptable, but anyways, leveled everything. Ran over to the range real quick. I took my camera with me actually, but there was quite a few people there, so not everybody wants to be on YouTube. So anyways, I shot it, got it dialed in. It was pretty close because I kind of knew where my marks were, but just walked it in a couple clicks here and there, and she's solid now. So shooting great. And I have actually quite a bit more room here for adjustment if I need to, which is awesome. So anyways, if you have a bow with a wider riser, it may be something you need to pick up, and you do have to call them. So anyways, I was chasing my tail with it. Figured somebody someday is going to be chasing their tail with it. So if this helps anybody out, awesome. And that's all I got. See you next time.